Welcome back. Kyle Ryan joins us from Realogics Sotheby's International Realty. And, well, first of all, welcome back, Kyle.
Thank you, Ben. Nice to be back.
See a lot of little pink houses out there?
Not that are selling.
No? Sometimes you do see the pink houses, though. They're out there.
Yeah, they have a loyal following, but it's probably 6 people.
Yeah. Well, when somebody's actually out looking for a house, preparing maybe to, even if it's look past the pink on a house if they don't like it, it's certainly, there's, I guess, when somebody wants to buy or find a great house, sometimes there's some preparation that needs to be done so they don't get in their own way. And you had some pretty good steps to kind of the approach that people need to take. What is that checklist to get started?
Well, thank you. I'd really love to go over just a little to-do list, really, to get ready to be successful, especially because we've been seeing a lot of multiple offers, and you just need to be prepared, really the most prepared, not necessarily even the highest price or the best offer will sometimes win, just the most prepared that looks the best to a seller. So the first thing to do, obviously, is to give you a call, I would say, Ben Brash and Cobalt Mortgage.
Here we are.
Yeah. So just get a great lender, a mortgage broker that you trust and can rely on, and then get pre-approved. Also have a letter handy so that, and up to where you're willing, where you're comfortable spending, so that you have that in hand and your agent has that in hand. Obviously, the second call would be, first or second call would be to me or to a good broker that they trust, real estate broker. You need to have quick access to your earnest money funds. Quite often you'll want to have 1, 2, 3% of the purchase price handy in a liquid form and in an account where you don't have to, and like not something you'd have to, an IRA that would take 4 or 5 or 10 business days or something to convert into cash. So just immediate access to that. Especially with so many buyers entering the market, you're going to want to see homes the minute they come on, literally within an hour. I recently saw a home sell on the phone over list price in an hour. So
it's incredible. And so let me get your take then. When did this change? When did all of a sudden houses fly off the market?
I would say February.
Okay. We decided it was February 15th.
Oh, okay. Very good.
For whatever reason, it's like middle of February, light switches.
Yeah.
And now this being prepared piece is so much different than it was before, because people had, you go look, you go back, you look 3 or 4 times. And now, we kind of talked at the beginning is, actually before you came on, was if you want to find the right house, you have to prepare in all the right ways, or else you might not get that home.
Well, there's certainly been a mentality of being able to take your time to look and having the luxury of lots of choices, very motivated sellers, to say the least. But that's why I think preparing yourself for the new paradigm that started on about noon, February 15th?
I think it was noon.
Noon? Okay.
Yeah.
So just checking. Yeah. I think just now that the whole...
Touche, Kyle. Touche.
Thank you. 15 love. So, yeah, I think it's shifted, so you really do have to be prepared for the new market, which really did start recently. And so the other things, I think, just to be prepared to, talk it over with you to see what you're comfortable paying, but then be willing to do an escalation clause, or at least consider doing an escalation clause to the amount that you'd be willing to pay. In some cases, you might want to even write a personal letter with photos. Photos are the best.
Like family photos, like we really want to live here.
Okay, so I had some clients that were looking for a house that had a pizza oven. They cooked pizza and took a picture of themselves with their cooked pizza to put on their personal letter to the seller to say, "We love your pizza oven."
And did they get the house?
They got another house.
Oh.
But that was
it's a good picture.
They were, by the time they found the actual one that was the perfect match, then they were all ready to go. So yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to this. There is a rhyme and reason. There's no certainty to any of this.
Sure.
But I think you just prepare for success.
Well, sellers have an emotional attachment to their home, and you're kind of allowing them to know that, hey, the next emotionally attached person to this house who's going to take care of your memories
for sure
would be moving in.
Yeah, I think the most likely buyer, as long as the offers are somewhat comparable, is the buyer that the seller feels will honor their memories and their enjoyment of the house. And I see houses actually attracting a very similar buyer over and over and over and over because they have a certain aesthetic and a certain lifestyle that they offer and appeals to the same type of person.
Sure. So, you have this person. I guess it's finding that right house. So, in fact, we made the analogy too about a book, right? Mm-hmm. And when you start thinking about buying a house, it's a big process. I mean, it really is. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I think, get so hung up on these small, minute pieces. Well, am I going to get the perfect deal? Am I going to get perfect financing? Am I going to get the seller to pay closing costs? Am I going to get everything I want in the inspection? Am I going to get all the terms I want? Can I move in? Right? And the reality is it's like reading a book and then deciding to judge it on every single sentence or every word or every paragraph instead of going, okay, in the grand scheme of things, am I going to be able to accomplish what I want, and will this book be good?
For sure. I've seen lots of people who initially want to buy a house, and that is their primary goal. They get sidetracked or distracted by the process, especially over the last 3 or 4 years where people have heard lots of stories from other buyers and sellers, and they haven't done this in a while. A lot of people are jumping in now. Well, it's easy to get sidetracked by the psychology of it, by the logistics, what does the seller, what are they thinking? And really, sometimes I've seen that end where they have more invested in the process than the outcome.
And that's, in fact, one of your big checklists here. I mean, focus on the outcome, not on the process.
Right. They have you and I for the process.
Yeah, I mean, or don't get in your own way in some points, right?
For sure. The whole thing can be daunting, even if you do it every 3 or 4 or 5 years, let alone if you haven't done it for 10 or 15. So really, I think that's why it's so important to pick a team, namely mortgage broker, real estate broker, that you can trust to handle the process so you don't have to be worried about that while you're just thinking, do I love the kitchen? Can I imagine myself painting this master bedroom the right color to feed my soul? Things like that.
Right. And I think that's such a key point because, and you would probably know, people will get hung up on, like I said, these small things, like the paint color in a bathroom.
Absolutely. And it's a little bit like dating where you really want to, you have a checklist, but then once you fall in love, you just need to kind of make it work. So we help people speed date a little bit.
I love it. Kyle, we have to go to break. And, when you come back next time, I'd love to hear your checklist for sellers because I think that's another important piece of the puzzle. And we have to go to break. When we come back, everybody's going to join us. We're going to discuss a little bit about understanding where to find people, how to find people who can help you in your life and potentially avoid the riots and avoid those people. Don't get hit in the head by anybody who's rioting. We'll be right back after this break.